Chapter 78. A Piece of the Whole. Chess Game World. Gu Hai hugged Long Wanqing and jumped onto a boulder that was shrouded in water mist. He stepped through the water mist. Buzz. In the next moment, Gu Hai and Long Wanqing had already arrived at a distant sea. What? Crossing so far in one go? Long Wanqing was surprised. Long Wanqing didn't understand. Shoo. Gu Hai once again stepped into an area of water mist, and in the blink of an eye, he was 100 miles away again, getting farther and farther away from the dragon vein. Shoo, 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 jumping over and over again. Gu Hai was slowly stepping high into the air and rushing up to the sea of clouds in general. Seems like space traveling in general. Walking, looking in the eyes of Long Wanqing is complicated and incomparable. Chess world. How in the world did you practice your chess power? Long Wanqing looked at Gu Hai in a tangled manner. Gu Hai was only 70 years old, right? This chess power. It was truly terrifying. Gu Hai didn't pay any more attention, but very carefully made a violent leap, rushing up into the sky. In a flash, he went out of the chess world. Out. Gu Hai let out a long breath. Boom. The duo landed on the boundary above the floating island. At this moment, the floating island was trembling violently, as if it was about to explode. Long Wanqing came out, and just about to take a sigh of relief into the eyes, but instantly held his breath. Countless cultivators retreated again and again, horrified as they dodged the surrounding debris shooting up. Ding Rui. Gu Hai was instantly on guard. Ding Rui floated in midair, and not far away, the flying boat of the Divine Mechanism Battalion floated to the side, with a group of Divine Mechanism Battalion disciples holding bows and arrows, aiming straight in Ding Rui's direction. Above the flying boat, a man in golden armor stared at Ding Rui with an icy gaze. The moment Gu Hai and Long Wanqing jumped out of the chess world, both parties looked over together. Long Wanqing, you failed to collect the dragon vein, even though you had the dragon drawing jade, Ding Rui said with an ugly face. Dragon attracting jade. Li Haren's eyes narrowed slightly as he stared at the spherical jade body in Long Wanqing's hand. Camp Master Li. Long Wanqing's eyes steeply lit up when she saw Li Haren, and a wave of joy flashed through her eyes. Camp Master Li, help me capture Ding Rui. She knows the truth about my mother's death. Help me capture her. Long Wanqing steeply shouted. Li Haren raised an eyebrow and looked towards Ding Rui. Divine Mechanism Battalion Master. Li Haren. Gu Hai looked at Li Haren suspiciously. From within Long Wanqing's gaze, Gu Hai actually saw a look of admiration, something that Long Wanqing had never shown before. Release the arrow. Li Haren let out a cold snort. Boom. Steeply, the Divine Mechanism Battalion disciples loosened their bowstrings, and a rain of 1,000 arrows steeply shot straight at Ding Rui. Ding Rui's face turned cold as she waved her walking stick in her hand. Who you? A wall of fire appeared steeply in front of her, instantly blocking a rain of arrows. Rumble. At once, the rain of arrows all crashed into the wall of fire. Li Haren, you actually shot at me, Ding Rui roared. Release again, Li Haren said in a cold voice. Boom. Once again, a large rain of arrows came straight at him. This time, it was more powerful than just now in general. 1,000 golden rainbows arrived at the firewall in a flash, and gathered at one point. Boom. With a loud bang, the firewall steeply split apart with a loud bang. Ding Rui, immediately bind your hands, otherwise, you will die from the arrows, Li Haren said in a cold voice. Gather your hands and surrender. Oh, ha 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 ha, Li Haren, you're really turning the other cheek, Ding Rui said angrily. Turning the other cheek. Ding Rui, it's you who have gone too far. You know that the dragon-inducing jade is in Long Wanqing's hands, and you're actually committing a crime against your superiors by imprisoning Long Wanqing in order to get the dragon vein. HMPH. Li Haren let out a cold snort. Boom, boom, boom. Ding. Steeply pulling out a fine needle, a string returned to its place. Boom. Rolling sword chi appeared out of thin air, forming a sword chi field that surrounded and protected Ding Rui. The rain of incoming arrows was instantly shredded by the endless sword chi. Li Haoran, don't pretend to be benevolent. I want to get the dragon vein, but you don't. Didn't you take the initiative to ask for a help and follow me just to get the dragon vein? Ding Rui sneered. King Yin. Li Haoran's face sank. This is only the first segment of the zither sound. Sword burst. I can see all 3 segments here. Divine Mechanism Battalion Master. Do you want to give it a try? Ding Rui said in a cold voice. Ding. Steeply pulling out the second thin needle. The second zither string returned to its place and trembled violently. Roar, roar, roar. In the sword chi storm field, a burst of loud roars were abruptly produced, and the void coalesced out of thin air as a fierce general silhouette in general, each grasping a hilt of sword chi, as they killed above the Divine Mechanism Battalion's flying boat. It was as if there were thousands of fierce armies, protecting Ding Rui in the center. The momentum was raging to kill. Release arrows. 2,000 arrows rained straight down. Boom. With a sudden loud bang, the rain of arrows were all chopped to pieces. Of course, there were also some fierce general silhouettes that exploded into pieces. But the zither sound did not die down. And the fierce generals were more than that. The 10,000 troops chopped to the place of the shield on the flying boat between the roars. Boom. The Divine Mechanism Battalion flying boat trembled violently. Chop again, Ding Rui said with a scowl on her face. Roar. The thousands of ferocious troops continued to chop away with their swords. Roll. Li Haoran's eyes glared as he punched out. A golden fist dipper came straight at him. Boom. A stormy wind steeply swirled in the void, and Ding Rui, who was surrounded by the clumps of ferocious troops, was instantly sent exploding back countless times by this punch. However, the zither was still trembling, and there were quite a few ferocious troops. Good. Long Wanqing, however, shouted as her eyes lit up. After all, Li Haoran's punch just now was too ferocious. 10,000 thousands of ferocious troops, and one punch to repel them. One punch to repel 10,000 ferocious troops. Li Haoran probed his hand and took out his golden longbow. A golden long arrow was knocked, seemingly to shoot at Ding Rui in the center. Shenji Battalion, golden bow. Li Haoran, do you think I have no defense? This third string of mine is prepared for your golden arrow, Ding Rui said in a cold voice. Ding. The last thin pin was plucked. Rumble. As if the sound of the zither, like heavenly thunder, rang out steeply. 10,000 ferocious troops appeared out of thin air, on their other hand a golden shield in. General. Li Haoran's eyes glared as he shot out an arrow. Swoosh. As if a rainbow-like golden arrow rushed straight, the sharp sound immediately shattered the 4 directions of stone. Roar, roar, roar. The 10,000 ferocious troops steeped up with a roar, and together they rushed forward clutching their shields. Boom, boom, boom. A series of shields exploded, and the golden arrow was unstoppable, shattering 20 shields and the ferocious army until it abruptly stopped. Although the golden arrow was powerful, but, in the end, it was blocked. On this ancient zither, who sealed the sound, Li Haoran's face sank. The golden arrow. This was the first time it had not taken enough effect. Ding Rui's face also changed furiously. So close, 20 shields. If she shot off a few more pieces, the golden arrow was going to hit herself. Li Haoran, you still really want to kill me? Ding Rui said with a scowl on her face. HMPH. I'll see how many arrows you can catch from me, Li Haoran said in a cold voice. As he spoke, Li Haoran steeply grabbed 3 arrows with a hideous murderous aura on his face. At the same time, he hitched his longbow, preparing to shoot all 3 arrows at the same time. Ding Rui's face sank. The ancient kin in her hand reached forward. Roar. The thousands of ferocious troops grasping their shields and holding ferocious swords in their hands seemed to be rushing up to tear Li Haoran apart. "Camp Master Li, be careful," Long Wanqing steeply worried. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly. This Li Haoran, this good strong killing intent, so impatient to exterminate Ding Rui, extinction. Is he going to kill people to exterminate them? After a moment of silence, he said, "Hall Master, the dragon drawing jade lends me a hand." Long Wanqing looked at Gu Hai in confusion, but still handed it over. Li Haoran, Divine Opportunity Battalion's good intentions. I, Yipin Hall, appreciate it. Yipin Hall's internal matters. I, Yipin Hall, can resolve them on my own, so please don't interfere anymore. Gu Hai steeply sighed. Long Wanqing was slightly stunned. Li Haoran, who had hitched the 3 golden arrows, also raised an eyebrow. Ding Rui also revealed doubts as she looked over. However, they saw Gu Hai and Long Wanqing standing beside the 29th heaven and earth vertical chess game, with Gu Hai grasping a bloody blade in one hand and the dragon drawing jade in the other. "Ding Rui, don't you want the dragon inducing jade? Come and get it yourself, otherwise I'll shatter it." Gu Hai laughed. "What?" Long Wanqing's face abruptly changed. Li Haoran and Ding Rui also changed their faces. "Gu Hai, he's crazy." "Who are you?" It was seen that Gu Hai threw the dragon-inducing jade towards the sky. Steeply, the bloody blade chopped over as if it was going to shatter the dragon-inducing jade with a single slash. "Gu Hai, what are you doing?" Long Wanqing steeply shrieked. However, at this moment, her cultivation was sealed, so there was no way to stop it. "Asshole!" Li Haoran's face changed. "Stupid!" Ding Rui roared in anger as she charged straight ahead. Li Haoran's bow and arrow suddenly pointed at the blood knife. "Li Haoran, there's no need for you to meddle in the affairs of the One Piece Hall," Gu Hai shouted in a stern voice. Li Haoran gave a slight lurch. Ding Rui instantly arrived close and was about to grab the dragon drawing jade. Snap! Steeply, a brittle sound rang out. It was Gu Hai who grabbed a black disc in this instant and landed it on top of the 29th heaven and earth vertical chess game. Whew! A huge suction force suddenly appeared above the floating island, and Ding Rui, who had flown close to it, along with the Zither Fierce army, was immediately sucked into it. What? Ding Rui's face changed. Whew! Instantly inhaled into the chess world, Gu Hai's other hand quickly changed into a blade, and the blood blade narrowly brushed past the side of the dragon drawing jade. Whew! Long Wanqing's eyes widened. Pa! The dragon guiding jade fell and landed in Gu Hai's hand. Hall Master! The dragon invoking jade is returned to you. Gu Hai handed out the dragon inducing jade. Snap! 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 Gu Hai quickly landed his pieces in the 29 heaven and earth vertical chess game, with 3 long golden arrows still resting on the bowstring, but having lost Ding Rui as his target. Li Haoran's face stiffened.